Hello and welcome to Brian's Got Game. I'm Brian, and today I got a game called Meteor. Meteor is a 1 to 5 player cooperative card game created by Mike Young and published by Mayday Games. In this game, players are trying to launch rockets to destroy meteors that are racing towards Earth before the time is up. So, let's check it out, and I'll show you how to play rocket cards, match the right resources to launch them, and to work as a team to save the world from certain destruction in Meteor. To set up, shuffle the Meteor cards, and then lay out the number based on this awesome card right here. Players 3, 7. So you lay out 7 meteors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The numbers determine how much power is needed to destroy it. Like in 1 through 3, it could be 1 to 3. 1, 2, or 3. This one happens to be a 3. I'll explain more about those later. With a 3 to 5 card, it could be 3, 4, or 5. This one's a 5 with another marker. I'll talk more about those later. Then, you take the 5 altitude cards, 1 through 5 with the 5 on the top, place it off to the side. Then you take the 5 timers. These are 1-minute timers, and these will be used as a timekeeper. Choose the timekeeper. They will watch it, and whenever one runs out, they will switch it. Then they will get rid of one, and then they'll start the new one. Then you pass out the cards. You shuffle the fuel, technology, and rocket cards, shuffle them into the deck, and then deal them out. 3 players, everybody gets 5 cards. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. These cards will be used to place rockets, launch rockets, and do special things according to the technology played. You are now ready to begin. Each player has a launch site. This is where rockets can be built and technologies can be researched. So, nobody's allowed to talk, but you have to strategize with yourself. You can't fuel any of these rockets, but maybe you could put down a rocket that someone else could launch. So, let's maybe put this one down. Maybe you could shoot down a 5. This isn't a turn order game. Everybody is free playing. So, he has 2 fuels. He'll play it on him. Maybe he'll save those. He has 1, so he'll play it. When the fuel has reached its potential, whenever it's full, there are 3 main words the person can say. Launch, which means you can launch your rocket and choose one to look at, or destroy. So let's take a peek at this one. It's a 3. So since 5 is higher than 3, it destroys it. But there was an overshock. So this altitude goes down 1. That's what happens whenever there's an overshock, and then it starts again. Remember, this is all timed. And then, whenever a altitude is lost, on the other side of this card, there's a number of players and how many cards are drawn. 3 players, 2 players. So whenever the altitude drops, each player gets 2 cards to use. Sometimes it's better to launch a smaller rocket so you don't cause overshocks. So if I had shot a 3 at it, it would have been perfect. But if it's not big enough, then it'll just reveal it and it'll stay revealed. And when this gets down to 1, after all the time is run out and there are still meteors, the players lose. Okay. So here's a technology. This one is called rocket light. So technologies are used to do extra things in the game so you can help win the game. Some of them are better at times, and some of them are worse. There are lots of different types, Some let you draw cards, some let you create things, some let you do lots of other stuff, maybe reveal some. So when this particular card was played, once it's been fueled at here, it needs this atom piece, you may discard 2 cards to get a rocket out of the discard pile to launch it. So I played it, and everybody looked. He doesn't have any, I don't think. So every once in a while, if everybody's like, oh, I can't play that, without saying, they can take it back up. Another word the players can say is pass. When all 3 players pass, the altitude changes, and then they all draw 2 cards. Another way to get cards is to create retrofits, which is to combine energy retrofits or rocket retrofits. You can use 4 of a kind or 1 of each. Same as rocket. So when 4 of the same energy or same rocket and the retrofit has been created in one launch area, the players draw 1 each, and then the person who had it in their launch area draws the rest. The rest is 5. So 5 minus 2 is 3, so they get to draw 3. If all of the meteors have been blown up by rockets, you win. Okay, I've got my dad here for a parent's opinion. So Dad, what do you think of Meteor?
Meteor is super fun. It's kind of one of those crazy real-time, everybody's moving and playing cards as fast as they can.
Though, they have to be quiet.
That's true, and that's the number one reason why I got this game. I thought it would be really neat to have a game where it was so quiet. So we had a lot of fun with it.
Components are really nice. The timers, the cards, the box.
So it's got a nice box, and it comes with a ton of cards. This was a Kickstarter a while ago, and so there's a lot of things that were stretch goals, ways to spice up the game, ways to make it harder, ways to make it easier. In fact, there's a new Kickstarter on for this one where it takes out the timers. Everybody's got a cell phone, so you can kind of use that as your timer rather than increasing the cost to buy sand timers. And it seems like you're always forgetting to watch the sand timer anyways. So if you use some sort of another timer and then maybe it has a sound on it, it'll let you know when the altitude changes. So, but the components are good. Nice quality cards.
The artwork is wonderful. I love the artwork on the altitude cards. The art changes. The most of the meteor cards are different. The rockets are a bit different. I really like the artwork.
Yeah, it's got a nice cartoon, kind of a goofy feel to it, and it kind of fits with the theme, right? Yeah, we're trying to save the end of the world, and so it's kind of a light-hearted, fun theme, and the artwork just fits right in with that.
There's a bit of strategy in here. When to play your rocket, which rocket to play.
Yeah, and it's definitely hard to do.
And when to play your technology.
Without talking. In fact, one of the technologies lets you talk.
Yeah.
So if you can play that one and get that one built early on, then you're pretty much guaranteed to win. Because you can say, hey, I have a rocket, do you have this type of fuel? And that way you can communicate. But without that, then yes, it becomes a lot harder. And do you want to start on your rocket or start on somebody else's rocket? Or, when do you want to try to retro fit? And so there's just a lot going on there, and it just not being able to talk makes it just fun and crazy.
It's pretty easy for kids. It's for the older ones, definitely, because there's no talking. You can play with talking and make it easier.
Yeah, for your first game, I think it suggests that you do talk. And if you're playing with little kids, then I think you could probably talk and play with them until they get it. But yeah, I think an older age group, probably 8 and up, could still probably understand how to play.
Overall, it's a really good game. The artwork's nice. The components are great. There's a bit of strategy. It's pretty easy for the older kids. I really like Meteor. Yeah,
it's a good family game. It's a lot of fun. Something to get out. And again, I liked that it was quiet. It's a game you play where you can't talk. So to try to keep the noise in the household down, bring out a game. And so that definitely worked for us. Again, there's another version on Kickstarter right now. Makes the box a little bit smaller, gets rid of those timers, It's kind of a 2.0, an upgraded version. So if you like what you see, you can go ahead and check that one out, or find the older one somewhere. But overall, it was a great game. We really enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun. Meteor.
Thanks for watching Brian Scott Game. Please like us on our Facebook page, send us a tweet at Brian Scott Game, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Brian, this is my dad. See you next time.